Good afternoon and welcome to the Midday News. Here's what we have in the bulletin. Here are the details. Some business operators in Westmoreland are on the verge of relocating because of crime. The consideration comes as murders are once again becoming rampant in the area following the ending of the states of emergency on November 29. O'Shane Masters reports.
Residents in Westmoreland are calling for the reimposition of the state of emergency in the parish. They say since the lifting of the measure, crime is once again rampant in the area. Now we spoke with a resident who, out of fear for his life, did not want to speak on camera.
Back is also, yes, me I say. And I say definitely, yes, me I say, because we are lose half of the people who did it for way, yes, me.
Now reports from the police are that between Friday and Sunday, 2 more murders took place in the parish. On Friday, 40-year-old Nardo Leon Grant was killed along the Belle Isle Main Road. Now it's understood he was hit from his motorcycle and was shot multiple times in his upper body. On Sunday, 45-year-old Michael Hilton, a flow technician, was killed. According to the police, he was returning home from a wake when he was attacked and shot multiple times in the upper body by gunmen in Amity. He was pronounced dead at hospital. Up to November 28, 133 murders have been committed. That's 18 more than the corresponding period last year.
I have anecdotal evidence where persons came to me and said, boy, since the police and soldiers are here, we can't open our business late. Outside of that, they live in fear because the criminals, they have no boundaries. They just do what they please. So with the state of public emergency, while it's a short-term measure, it does work. And I would say that I, as Member of Parliament for Westmoreland Western, stand behind the government 100%. If they intend to reinstate, if it's 14 days that we get without the opposition, let's just continue to renew those 14 days until we have some semblance of control of these criminal elements.
It's why the residents want something to be done urgently. They say the interests of the people must be at the forefront and not politics.
The people, me think say politicians we think about people and not the party, you know. Yeah man, just think about the people, because when you think about the people, you don't know say boy, the people will feel more safe, you understand? They need that strength and energy beside them. And right now I be a negative energy. Definitely. Yeah man.
You just wish SOE could come back now.
Oh God man, ASAP man, speedy.
And as the festive season intensifies, they are calling for increased security presence in Westmoreland, similar to that of the state of emergency. O'Shane Masters, TVJ News.
In the meantime, the business community in St. James is renewing its pledge to assist the police in the fight against crime. President of the Montego Bay Chamber of Commerce and Industries, Oral Heaven, says a lot more work still needs to be done, and the business community continues to stand by to assist. Over 180 murders have been committed in St. James so far this year. The government had recently imposed a state of emergency across the parish to help control the monster. But despite that, the onslaught continues.
We are all aware of the struggles that we now face. The struggle that is real, and that struggle, of course, is crime. So much so that we are coming out of a state of public emergency. The entire business community is uncomfortable with the matter of crime that continues to plague us. The business community wants to have a happy and peaceful holiday. Will we?
President of the Montego Bay Chamber of Commerce and Industries, Oral Heavens, believes while the police are doing what they can, they cannot do it alone.
They have a mountain of a task ahead of them, but with very little resources in person and in equipment, such as motor vehicles, to assist them in fighting this demon. Our police here in Montego Bay are going above and beyond as they incorporate social transformation in their crime-fighting measures. The social intervention measures are supported by the business community, and we're happy that our leadership here, and we have our Senior Superintendent Ellis, working with the community to get this monster under control.
Mr. Heaven says solving this problem will take a collective approach. As such, he's calling on residents to join the business community to tackle the issue.
It is often said that pressure is a privilege. And while we are experiencing some challenging time as it relates to crime, we seated here this evening have the astute privilege of being the transformational leaders to challenge, positively disrupt, and change the narrative for you, for me, and for all of us who demand more from our country and from those who are assigned to lead us.
The St. Catherine and St. Mary police are both probing killings in the divisions this morning. In St. Mary, a teenager was shot dead at his home in Cargill Lane on Otter Bay. He has been identified as 19-year-old fisherman Desmond Mitchell, otherwise called Mark. Reports are that sometime after 3 o'clock, Mitchell was at home when armed men knocked at his door, shouting police. When he opened the door, he was shot multiple times and pronounced dead at hospital. In St. Catherine, the body of a man who is still unidentified was found on the South City playfield this morning. Police reports are that at about 6:30, persons jogging in the area stumbled on the body and alerted the police. The police theorize that the person was killed elsewhere and the body dumped at the playfield. They say this is the second time a body has been dumped on the playfield. Property owners in Clarendon are being warned this afternoon to clean up their properties or face the courts. That's according to Mayor of Maypen, Winston Maraj. Speaking with members of the media recently, Mayor Maraj says the properties which are in development now have overgrown shrubs, which poses a security risk to residents and the infestation of rodents.
If the owners do not respond to us, then we can take them to court, as long as they are identified, under the Public Health Act and Public Health Nuisance Act, as well as we also have our Local Government Act that we can use.
Development economist Dr. Christopher Stokes says the opposition's recommendation to increase the age of consent from 16 to 18 years will not solve the issue of teenage pregnancy. Opposition Senator Damien Crawford has called for the age of consent to be increased in light of the high number of teen girls who have had to leave school after becoming pregnant. Speaking on Radio Jamaica's weekly news review program, That's a Wrap, Dr. Stokes questioned why so many young girls are becoming teen mothers. He says this is more of a cultural problem.
No, that's not an argument against 18. Don't think that you're going to move it to 18 and the problem is going to disappear. To make it an offense to have sexual relations with somebody under 18, fine. That may be a deterrent. Of course, we just discussed the issues with the legal system. I'm not sure where that is going. But we have a bigger problem in this country. Why is it that the vast majority of women in Jamaica, by the time they reach adulthood, have been molested in some way or the other? I mean, what are we doing? Why is that okay? And I think we need to spend time on that. Why are we sexualizing our young women? Why we're making it feel that a part of their self-esteem is to make themselves sexually appealing. So we have to address how we construct our society and stop nibbling at the edges and deal with the issues frontally is the point I would make.
Mr. Crawford, who was speaking in the Senate on Friday, pointed to statistics from a World Bank UNICEF report, which outlined that 49% of school-aged girls were unable to complete high school due to pregnancy. He explained that the tool recommended by UNICEF is to protect teenagers from sexual abuse. Only a few more days until the new year, and vendors and butchers at the Highgate market in St. Mary are still without a permanent facility. The market was gutted by fire in July this year. Months later, and the area is still without covering and electricity. Some vendors have taken the initiative by investing money from pocket into the rebuilding.
We don't have any light. We have to make a little way for ourselves. All kind of things. We have to help ourselves in every way that we can. Because as I say, it's our living. So we have to make way for our living.
However, there are mixed reactions among the vendors about plans to rebuild the market.
All right, just spend up your money to this, right? Make a shop. And I get to understand them to then go and build up a market. So what I'm saying, what we're going to do with this when the market build up? Because then judge spot, you and say build market and now they must realize and say, market, I got build. Yeah. So what we must do, we not head for nobody. You know what we are doing? You understand? So I know what I'm saying. I don't know what they are saying or what they are doing.
But honestly, I think that will happen only when I gain the hour-shaped glass, the hour-glass shape. Yes, and that, no, I'm not disciplined enough for good diet. I mean, I have money for the liposuction, so that now go forthcoming. Me not look for that anytime soon.
The market reconstruction is scheduled to begin in 2023. For a look in the financial world, here's Good Invite with the Business Minute.
Stationery and office supplies SOS saw consistent growth for the 2021-2022 financial year, and according to its managing director Alan McDaniel, SOS is moving into the new year with plans to expand.
This has to do with our office in Montego Bay, this has to do with Seek, this has to do with internationally throughout other various islands. We are looking for distributors for our products, the Evolve, the Image, the Torchline, products that we really believe in and we really think are good, that are also very well priced, and we are looking at many different things as we know we want to continue into 2023, expanding and being more successful in 23 than even in 22.
In business overseas, oil prices have risen amid concerns that a new cap on the price of Russian crude could disrupt global supplies in the coming months. A separate decision by major oil-producing countries to keep cutting how much they produce to prop up prices has also fueled the increase. The price of Brent crude oil rose by almost 2% on Monday to $87.25 a barrel, but this is still well below the highs seen after Russia invaded Ukraine. That's it for the Business Minute. I'm Cody Ann Barrett.
It's now time for the top regional and international stories.
In the region, 79 Haitians were handed over to the Bahamian authorities by the U.S. Coast Guard on Saturday. This follows the interception of 2 suspected smuggling operations in southern Florida. The U.S. Coast Guard says it was notified of the suspicious 30-foot boat after it started taking in water on Saturday, November 25 at about 10:30 p.m. This comes amid continuing gang warfare and a breakdown of law and order in Haiti. However, Acting Lieutenant Nicholas Fujimoto of Coast Guard District 7 is warning persons to desist from trying to enter the U.S. illegally. He says persons should not waste their hard-earned money on smugglers and illegal voyages, as smugglers do not care whether they or their families live or die. On the international scene, pharmaceutical companies Pfizer and BioNTech have submitted an application to the U.S. Food and Drug Administration for their updated COVID-19 vaccine to be used as the third shot in the 3-dose primary vaccine series for children ages 6 months through 4 years. The vaccine makers announced on Monday that if authorized for emergency use, children in that age group will still receive the original version of the COVID-19 vaccine as their first 2 dosage, but would get the updated COVID-19 vaccine after. The companies say the updated vaccine is crucial due to the high level of respiratory illnesses currently circulating among children under 5 years of age. They say it may also help prevent severe illness and hospitalization. That's it for your top regional and international stories. I'm Cody Ann Barrett.
We head to a quick break. When we come back, we'll have your midday sports report with Jordan Fort.